Welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to cover our final normal ortho, number 10. And this one's a little different because it has a hole feature through it. And so let's start off by breaking down this part. How many chunks could we tear it into? I would say 3. This one here, and this one over here. Which view best shows the shape? I would say top view. And so we're going to start with top view. And we can see here on the left-hand side, we've got an 1¼ inch by 1¾ inch rectangle. Over in the middle, we've got an 1¼ inch by half, and over here, we've got an 1½ inch by a half. So we're going to start with this rectangle here, and if I can remember my dimensions, we are 1½ inch by a ½ inch. So, object line, 1½ inch by a ½ inch. Okay, so we've got our first rectangle done. Our second rectangle is a half by an 1¼ inch. So we're actually going to stretch this a ½ inch and then draw down an 1¼ inch. Come over to this apparent intersection and then stretch this down. Okay, again, if it's one line, it needs to be one line. Okay, so now we've got a ½ inch extension here, and then we go over 1¾ and back 1¼ inch. So we're going to take our line, stretch it down a ½ inch. Try that again. Take our line, stretch it down a ½ inch. This line does not want to cooperate. 0.5, there we go. Over, we said 1¾ back 1.25, and over. So now our top view is almost done. We need to draw the circle, and that circle is a ½ inch back from the front and to the right of the left edge. So what we're going to do, and it's a 0.5 through, which means it's got a diameter of 0.5. So I'm going to draw a circle with a diameter of 0.5. Remember, you either have to hit D or right-click diameter to set that. .5 up and 0.5 over, and there's our hole. So now, move this over just a little bit. We need to start drawing in our top view. And I'm going to draw down 1.75 and then the corresponding line. Those are both projection. Drawing an object line. Now this line has to come down 0.5 and then over . This line is then an 1¼ inch. And it will run all the way across to the left edge of my part. It comes up, I believe, 0.5 and then over that line comes all the way down because it's this line and this line added together. I then need to finish my rectangle here. So I've got a rectangle, and a rectangle, 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 rectangle. Now the hole needs to get projected down as well, and I am missing some projection lines, which is fine. We can use those as a double check. So that lines up, Now I'm going to project from the left quadrant, which would be at 180 degrees over from the center, and 0 degrees over here. Those are hidden lines. Now I'm going to draw my miter line in. Remember, apparent upper right hand. And I'm going to start by drawing in this section over here. So the line that I just changed to object is this line right here. Now if I come and draw a projection line over to here, this line comes all the way down to the bottom. But that line sits there. So there's one of my rectangles. This line and this line combine for the full depth of my part. So I can stretch this over 1.25. So what we're starting to have to do here is do our projection lines kind of as we go. And as we get into the more complicated parts down the road, you're going to see that's more the case. So this line comes back a ½ an inch. And then up to there. So here we have this kind of S-shape looking section and then a rectangle. And that's all we've got over here. Now there is a hidden line that runs from this point here back until where it would meet this line here. So if we project from here over and then down, we can draw in these two lines, which will be hidden. And this represents this from here back to where it would meet here, and also the line where it comes down right over here. Next, we want to go ahead and project the whole over to the side view from the top view. And those two lines will be hidden. And now we want to start double checking that all of our corners and our circle have the projection lines in both directions. So I've got a corner, corner, corner. Those are all good. Everything is transferred from my top view to my front view, just not from my front view to my side view. So now all of my corners are projected. And if we turn our projection layer, we're going to go ahead and freeze that. We can see what our views actually look like. That's going to conclude the series on the normal orthos. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next set.